Welcome to the Erotic Realm podcast, where we explore the psychology of darker desires. I'm Em, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm a psychosexuality nerd with a background in psychology, sociology, medical science, and Tantra. I'm also in a 24/7 college relationship, and I created this podcast with the mission of humanizing kinksters. Join me here for one-on-one, in-depth conversations as we explore the fascinating world of eroticism, one erotic realm at a time. If you love what we're doing here in the erotic realm, I'd like to ask you a quick favour. Can you follow and rate the show wherever you listen? It helps the show reach more people like you. And if you haven't yet, I'd love if you could subscribe to my Substack, Psychology of Desire. This is where I go even deeper into the science and symbolism of desire, archetypes, and erotic evolution. You'll get access to articles, unique surveys and research, and behind-the-scenes access to everything I'm building. Simply visit psychologyofdesire.substack.com. I'll see you there. And now, for today's episode. The following episode marks the beginning of Season 2 of the Erotic Realm. Welcome. And as we step into the new year, I wanted to begin this season differently. Not with theory, not with expertise, not with going deep into one person's erotic realm, but with intention. Because we make goals for almost every other part of our lives, our careers, our bodies, our finances, our relationships. But when it comes to our desire, especially erotic desire, we often leave it to chance. We wait for it to return. We hope it doesn't disappear. We assume it should just happen. So to open this season, I invited kinksters and erotic explorers to come onto the show and share something rarely spoken about: their New Year erotic and kink intentions, what they want to explore, what they want to deepen, and what they want to reclaim, confront, or finally give themselves permission to want. And this isn't a one-off. These guests will return at the end of the year so we can reflect on what shifted, what surprised them, and what actually happens when we treat desire as something we can listen to, tend to, and consciously engage with. Because desire isn't just impulse, it's not chaos, and it's not frivolous. Desire responds to attention, and attention, when given with curiosity rather than judgment, changes everything. And your desire deserves attention. Before we begin today's episode, I want to share something I've been quietly building in the background, something many of you have asked me for over the past year. I've just released the Desire Diary. Now, this isn't a planner. It's not a productivity journal, and it's not about forcing desire to behave. The Desire Diary is a working psychological tool designed to help you notice how your desire actually operates in your body, your fantasies, your relationships, and your inner world. Because one of the things that I've learned through my countless hours of studying desire and the hundreds of conversations that I've had is that most of us were never taught how to explore our desire. Only how to judge it, suppress it, or panic when it changes. This desire was created to slow that down. Inside, you'll find space for reflection, pattern spotting, and gentle inquiry, not prompts telling you what you should want, but questions that help you listen more closely to what's already there. It's a soft cover or hardcover, small run edition designed to be written in, lived with, and returned to. And it's available now via the link in the show notes. So if you're someone who listens to this podcast and thinks, yes, but what does this look like in my own desire? This diary is for you. And now, let's step into today's episode. Welcome to the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. I have a new kinkster here ready to set their New Year intentions with us. Can you please begin by telling us your name and age?
I go by Mouse, and I am 37 years old.
Hi, Mouse. Now we'd like to just hear a little bit about your gender and your sexuality and kinky self.
So I am a female, and my sexuality is that's a good question. um,
Mm-hmm.
my journey has been kind of long. I was celibate for about 10 years unintentionally, and I kind of just broke that last year and have kind of been really finding my sexuality. I mostly would say I'm heterosexual, but I'm very interested in exploring other avenues of that. My kink journey is pretty much more new than that. I haven't had a lot of experience, though I pride myself on research and knowledge. I really have done a lot of exploration this year and have had quite the transformative year in regards to kink and experiencing my first impact session and my first play in dominant and submissive roles. So it's been quite a year already. So I'm definitely looking forward to 2026.
Amazing. We love a transformative year. That sounds really exciting.
Yes.
So let's move on to next year then. What are you longing to explore next year in 2026 in your erotic and kink life, and why?
I think at first, my first thought was, I'm still really longing to explore my submissive side. It's something that I really have craved for such a long time that kind of got me into the idea of kink in general. I'm somebody who already is a dominant person normally, and I want to kind of give up that control. I think most recently, I've kind of evolved that idea in exploring sexually in general, and really going deeper in regards to the idea of giving up control. Um, I think prior to that self discovery, I had held on to this idea of things have to line up perfectly for me. I would wrap my self worth or my uh, identity into what I was doing. So I didn't want to just have sex with anybody. They had to tick all of these boxes, or I didn't want to give up my submission too easily because if it was something that someone desired, then I wanted to hold on to that. And I think going into 2026, I kind of want to give up a little bit of that control of myself and kind of allow myself the freedom to kind of explore my sexuality more. I think it's important for me to learn a little bit more about myself sexually. I think one of the biggest things is when you're younger, you really get those opportunities to kind of explore yourself sexually and make good decisions and bad and all of those types of things. And I really didn't do that. And I think now I'm in a perfect place where I have the emotional intelligence. I've done the work on myself to kind of help myself through this journey to allow myself to explore sexually
Mm.
in a lot of different realms and a lot of kink ways as well, and give myself the freedom and the acceptance to do those things and give up that control that I've kind of been holding on to so much.
Okay. That's really deep and really powerful. So I feel like you spoke to it a little bit already, but I just want to check in to make sure that we didn't miss anything. The next question I've been asking is, what part of yourself do you want to meet through this desire?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of just my sexual self, my authentic sexuality, I think is what I'm really looking to meet. I've done a lot of personal growth to meet my authentic self in other ways, and I think that that's kind of the piece that I've really not explored much. And I think just that sexual power that I have, that sexual acceptance, and just allowing myself to be in that and that
Mm.
authenticity, I think is what I'm really looking forward to meeting.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what might get in the way of this exploration. What challenges or fears do you feel might come up while you're pursuing these desires?
I think that's that's the struggle, right? Is, the things that hold us back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, we get in our own ways. And I think a lot of my fears and struggles are just kind of those deep seated shame, in, what might not be allowed, or what I've not allowed myself to accept, those parts of me,
Mm.
or allowing, those types of things, and kind of being nervous of accepting those pieces of me. But I think that, although I know that those are going to be obstacles and struggles for myself, I'm kind of excited to kind of work through that and kind of confront those things, and see how that transforms.
What a great way to look at it, to be excited about it. Awesome. So let's imagine that we're chatting again at the end of next year and you feel fulfilled, like you've fulfilled these goals that we're speaking about. What will that look like, and how will you know that you've met your goals?
I think for me, a sense of fulfillment is going to be more of kind of a feeling of like acceptance. I think that, um, it won't be as much as a overall goal that I checked off a box, even though I do feel that there will be some boxes I will be checking along the way to kind of help with my journey. I think just the overall feeling of, accepting that part of me, and also saying yes to things along the way, like not getting in my own way and having more experiences. I look forward to coming back and saying, "Oh my God, I had all these great experiences and I said yes to them and I felt great about them and empowered." Like that is what fulfillment would look like to me.
Mm-hmm. So let's name your erotic theme for next year. If you could name it in just one word, what would that word be and why?
One word. I would say intentional.
Mm.
Um, and I think I'd use that word because my whole idea of going into 2026 is moving with intention when it comes to my sexuality, and being purposeful with it. And I think that if moving through that, knowing what my goal is and accepting that side of me and that sexual side of me, that it will be with intention with my decisions. And I think that using that word also sets the intention, of what I'm looking forward to, next year.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for being part of the very first edition of the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year's special. And I really look forward to having you back at the end of 2026 to see what happened for you throughout the year and how you went with your goals. I'm really excited for you.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much for having me. It was, a great experience.
Thank you again. I have an interesting group of kinksters here right now, the first couple that's been on the Erotic Intentions, and they're here to set their New Year intentions with us. Can you please begin by each telling us your name and age?
Yes, absolutely. I'm Butterfly. I'm 38 years old.
I am Wolf Bunny, and I am 46 years old.
Wonderful. And now perhaps both of you a little bit about your sexuality and kinky self.
Well, I have always identified as queer and polyamorous, but a very sexy thing that has transpired in my relationship over this past year is that I'm in my first monogamous relationship,
Mm.
and exploring that has been so sexy. And I'm very into sacred sexuality and have been newer to exploring Tantra. And in our relationship, we've also found role play, like archetypal role play throughout time and dimension, has become a big part of the way that we heal each other sexually. That's what I would say about myself.
Mm.
As for myself, I have identified as straight. I've spent most of my life monogamous, but also have some experience with ethical non-monogamy and interest in polyamory. but I too, of course, am finding myself in a monogamous relationship, which itself feels very kinky, especially in tracking her arrival very organically in that place. It wasn't in response to any difficulty with polyamory. It was something we both just naturally found ourselves moving towards. And
yeah, we almost had to like admit it to each other that we had both been thinking about not actually being turned on by the idea of the other one being with someone else and how new that felt. And I was the one that actually brought it up and was just, I wasn't sure how he was going to respond, but now only experiencing things together has been a really profound choice.
And I can summarize my new sexual orientation is sex as transcendental experience.
Wow. Okay. I love the idea of monogamy being kinky. I was picking up on that when you started talking and then you actually said it. That's so cool. Okay. So let's move on to your kink and erotic intentions for 2026. What are you both longing to explore next year and why?
I'll go first. I think the first thing that comes to mind for 2026 is deepening our capacities as sexual healers for other people. We've done so much work for each other and with each other, and we've started to notice that people in our kind of community and our general sphere are looking to us for guidance and inspiration for how they can heal and how they can expand and how they can transcend. And we created a deliciously kinky experience for a woman that we know that had never been with a woman and had never felt safe enough to experience that type of thing with a man present either, and just created the most amazing night for her. And I would love to do more of that in 2026. And I think the other thing that's been really interesting is finding he's been able to give me orgasms unlike any types of orgasms I've ever experienced before. And I think there's an orgasm associated with every energy center of the body. And I'd like to maybe document that more and undocument our sex more actually as well. Make more videos, more audios, maybe find an audience. Yeah, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to share what we've learned over the past couple of years.
Yeah, to dovetail off of that, I agree. We should.
I hope you agree.
We've definitely discussed that, and I favor providing pleasurable experiences to others, but have it be framed in a way for them to where they know that this is for them. People, I think women in particular, are conditioned to self-sacrifice and to only provide pleasure or labor, whether emotional or physical, for others. And they have a very difficult time not only asking for what they want, but in even knowing what it is that they want. And we found in that experience with the other woman that Butterfly mentioned, she would frame her desires in the moment as in like, oh, you want to kiss me, versus I want to kiss you. And so I would love to be able to, through those experiences, help other people understand their desires and understand that they deserve to have them fulfilled, and have us be just pleasure doms where they know, hey, we're enjoying this, but this is not for us. Like, this is purely for your pleasure. And then beyond just doing that for individuals, but helping couples or groups of people find that within their own dynamic.
Ooh, I want to add one more thing. One other thing that made me think of is just more work and more exploration in the masculine feminine dynamic of it all, you know, like you were talking about your experience of where women need support and the way that the society doesn't support women in feeling their own pleasure. And I was thinking the same thing about men, you know, that men don't know how to receive, and that men think that they always have to be just like pursuing and going and performing, you know. And just as we reflect on the year, at the end of the year, I would love to look back and think, wow, we really did a lot of work healing the relationship between the divine masculine and feminine.
Whether between people or within themselves.
Okay, that's really powerful. So,
oh my God, you know what else? I want to get pregnant.
Oh,
Not as a kink.
Is that news or?
No, we've been talking about it, and it will require a decent amount of work to happen, and we're both not in like the ideal childbearing age, so it's like we're not counting on it like it will definitely happen, but we definitely want to look back at this year and say we gave it our best shot.
Wow.
I need tubes surgically reconnected, so to speak, to make this possible. But it's beautiful to take that effort and to place that intention. I think that's going to fuel us forward, probably in a kinky way as well.
Wow. Okay. So much is happening between you and also outside of you. Really cool. So you've spoken to it a little bit, but I just want to check in to see if you had anything else to say. I've also been asking people, what parts of yourself do you want to meet through this desire? Did you want to speak to that a little bit more?
I just love the question, and I just want to thank you so much for doing this. It's just such a wonderful offering that you're giving, and just the amount of work it must take to be so intentional and to just make yourself available to people. I just feel really honored to be a part of this project. So
thank you.
Part of myself, it's really almost just like I'm reflecting on how far we've come already, and I just want to keep going. I have become more receptive and more able to, it's so interesting because like we're in this time period when men and women and the male and female within ourselves is so fractured and is so fraught. And meanwhile, in our little love bubble, we've been able to activate and heal our divine masculine and divine feminine respectively, like so much. Like I was living all my time, like so much of my time I was in my masculine, and I was just like always pursuing and always trying to be perfect and always trying to give to everyone else. And I've become so able to receive and so feeling deserving of gifts and deserving of pleasure. And I just want to continue that path this year and to meet softer and softer versions of myself and just like float on a lotus of love.
Similarly, I was over-indexed in my feminine, the primary caretaker for 2 children, and not feeling empowered in my masculine and not feeling like I could make my desires known or that I would be able to fulfill my desires if given the opportunity. And in the role play that we've talked about, which, by the way, always occurs spontaneously, it's never, this is what we'll role play. It'll just happen where we'll pick up on a character that's usually archetypal, and the gender roles will be flipped. I have embodied a female or feminine figure while she's embodied the masculine. We've been in, homosexual pairings, like 2 men on an ancient Greek battlefield who end up fucking one another with all the backstory. So we have explored that, and I think just in the past year, I've experienced the highest of joys and the lowest of sadness and grief and even anger at times. And I've improved my capacity for both by stretching myself in both ends. And I'd like to bring in pleasure to that equation as well. And that could be
keep stretching yourself at both ends.
Right. Right. And that may include me learning how to physically receive within myself, inside my body, not just receiving pleasure, generally speaking.
So are you saying you want to do more butt stuff?
Yeah, I would love to improve my capacity to receive that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Good. Okay, cool. I love this. It's so, we're doing the grotesque and the divine all in one. Beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about what might get in the way of these goals for next year. What challenges or fears do you feel might arise in both of you while pursuing these goals?
It's so funny. I have no fears at all. I'm just looking deeply into his eyes, and
Oh.
there's just nothing that I could possibly, that we could not face or embrace or swim through. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the first thing that comes up is like, oh, well, if there's like a significant societal collapse that precludes us from being able to just devote a lot of our spare time into like sexy leisurely play, like I think it's a pretty weird situation politically. It's a little rough, but I don't think that will happen this year. So if something comes up for you, feel free to jump in, because I'm nothing else is really like coming up for me, what fears I have.
Yeah, I think the biggest fear might be in disappointing either Butterfly or someone that we work with. And of course, this is a fear that is probably more of a remnant of my past self, but I'm sure there's still some element of self-doubt present where I fear that an experience that is promised may not end up the way they would want it to end up, or I personally may not be able to give the pleasure that they wanted to receive. So, I just don't want to be someone who lets others down. I don't want to promise something that I can't deliver, so to speak.
I just thought of one. This relationship is the first time that I've really ever experienced jealousy. And so I do think it's possible that, if we had some amazing person that wanted to work with us and you guys had a really strong connection, and it maybe jealousy would arise for me. Or if someone was like, oh yeah, like you guys are great, but I really want to hang out with just Wolf Bunny, I would be like, get the fuck away from him. So like I think, but I think you would handle that so well if that did come up. So.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a fear that's been present, but we navigate challenges so well and we communicate so well. And I know that my heart is in super safekeeping with her. Like she has demonstrated over and over and over again that I can share with her how I'm feeling. I can express my fears and desires, and it's reciprocal, and we can work through whatever comes up. So the fears are there.
One real fear: we keep our sexual stuff separate from our other public personas. I would be, if we do go forward with more semi-public exposure to our sexy stuff, if there was any weird like security breach type thing, I would be fearful of that, because it would be a problem for you.
Yeah, I'm a practitioner of kind of spiritual medium work, and that came to the attention of my employer and had to have an awkward conversation about.
Imagine the awkward conversation with your boss if they found out you were like a sex worker healer guy. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your beautiful connection today. It's really lovely to be a part of it just for this brief moment. I really appreciate it.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you for welcoming us.
So we've talked about the challenges and what might get in the way. Let's talk about what fulfillment of these goals would look like. So let's imagine we're talking again at the end of next year and I'm asking you what's happened and you feel like you've fulfilled these goals. What would that look like for each of you?
Okay, some tangible outcomes. It would be cool if we published another erotic story, and it would be amazing if we had some sort of anonymized, sexy content platform somewhere, whether it was just like, I don't even know where, I don't care where, but if we could look back at the end of the year and be like, yeah, we now have like some fans on our anonymous OnlyFans, or like followers of our little sex ritual vlog or something like that.
I would like to have a group of people that we've worked with as clients, not the right word, because this is not something that we're really intending to do for pay at this point.
Yeah.
Just wanting as a gift to others to help them have pleasurable, heart expansive experiences, but to have several of those folks that we've worked with be able to speak amongst themselves, to give feedback to us,
Some happy customers
to come back for repeat experiences, and really help us expand and grow what it is that we offer, that they can access themselves. And so I would like to have multiples who can...
Hosting a sexy retreat. That would be another one to check off the list, right?
Definitely.
Anything else?
That's pretty much...
What about like your own pleasure? Would you like to have a goal around your own pleasure, not just giving?
I would love to have the best orgasm I've ever had be the one that gets you pregnant.
Oh.
Period.
And I think, I have particularly enjoyed withholding ejaculation. It's been not just great for my sex life, but just great for my creativity, the energy I bring day to day. So I think it's something that we could actually track.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good one to end on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could both name your 2026 erotic theme in just one word, what would that word be and why?
Let's both think of it in our head and before we say it, okay?
Are we going to do like a 1, 2, 3 and say it at the same time and then explain?
Yeah, that would be funny.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second. I don't know mine. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is it's not even a sexy word, but I just feel like this is what I want to say.
All right, we'll do it. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 and then the word. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Expansion.
Expansion. Like I just kept seeing egg. Like we've made our nest, and now we're gonna lay our egg.
Yeah. And so that's what it means to you.
Yeah, and then the egg's gonna hatch. It's like,
right.
It's just such a we used to always joke about the cosmic egg.
Yeah. Yeah, the cosmic nest and the cosmic egg.
Mm-hmm.
I identified expansion because I would like to take what we've learned. We'll let that loud motorcycle go by. Take what we've learned and be able to share it expansively with others. And then what they learn from that, they can share with their lovers and their friends, and just have it be a knock-on effect in our community, and just have pleasure and love expand.
Beautiful. Was there anything else that either of you wanted to share or say before we finish?
I just love you forever, and I'm so excited to see what this year has in store for us.
And I'm thankful for the opportunity to talk about it in a new way. We speak all the time to one another and share our dreams, but to do it in the way that you've provided for us has been a true gift, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful connection with the world, and for being part of this Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. And I'm really excited to have you both back on the podcast at the end of the year to see what's happened for you both throughout the year. So thank you again.
Yeah, and we'll listen throughout the year too.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you for listening to the Erotic Realm. If this episode stirred something in you, please take a moment to follow the show, leave a rating, or write a review on wherever you're listening. It helps more people find the show and brings visibility to this deeper conversation about eroticism and self-understanding. I'd also like to invite you to dive deeper into the psychology of desire, including my writing, research, and upcoming courses over at psychologyofdesire.com. And if you want the full experience, join thousands of curious minds on my Substack at psychologyofdesire.substack.com. This is where I release the Psychology of Desire case files, behind-the-scenes thoughts, and intimate reflections every week, plus more. Until next time, stay curious, stay embodied, and keep exploring. Also, as always, stay perverted.